It's a beautiful love song, a beautiful love song. Oh, Elias is calling us. Elias is calling us. Let's get it. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the man of the hour. What's good, my brother? Chilling.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've been wanting to get back with you with all of everything going on with the holidays, the hustle and the bustle. But I'm like, man, I'm so glad we got a chance to really sit down, catch up. You know what I mean, and get some things. How's everything going on your end?
It's good, bro. Just working. Really, same old. My pops, he don't believe in Christmas. So
okay.
We only kind of split on it.
Okay.
So I did Christmas with my wife, and it was chill. But honestly, I kind of been working. I ain't gonna lie.
That's solid.
It was probably a lot different for you because you got kids and whatnot.
Right.
So it's lit.
Yeah, for real. For real. Yeah, family coming over, kids, like you said, the kids. You know, so it was cool. But I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I was trying to take this time to not work. And it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge. I've been feeling just like a dog foaming at the mouth, bro. Like when I finally got back in my studio, I'm just like, I'm hearing all of these songs. So it kind of was a good thing because I just feel like it was really time to just kind of sit back and just hear from God low key. Like I feel good. I feel so optimistic right now going into this next season, bro. Like I'm ready to dive in and go wild with it. I did get a chance to read that script, bro, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the direction that it's going. I definitely wanted to, jump online and just really have this conversation so we could really, bring it to life, see where your head's at, and just put our heads together and continue building.
That's fine. I'm down.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about I guess I kind of want to be in the audience right now and just kind of share with me if you're putting on the show, right? Like, walk me through it.
Okay, boom. So, number one, the references is Inside Out 2. You got emotions or sins that that sort of dichotomy.
Okay.
And it's centered around the idea of the born again Christian and your fight with alcoholism and your testimony.
Okay.
All right, so boom, lights is off in the dark room. You know what I'm saying? You in the crowd, surrounded by people you might know, you might not know them folks. It's silent and it's dark, and you're just in the aura. And boom, that joint, the screen turn on, right? And you see two characters there, and you hear a question. He's like, one person waves, "Hey, I'm righteousness." The other one, "What's up? I'm self-control." But it's done in like a documentary style in the sense that these characters are getting interviewed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And basically, the characters are reflecting on, because the question is asked, can you tell me how you were introduced to Chucky? Righteous says, yeah, we got a call, and the Lord told us it was that time to see Chucky. Self-control says, when we showed up, he was B.O.D. The interviewer what's B.O.D.? On the brink of death. And then it cuts. We get dark, suspenseful music. The tension builds. We make it cinematic, and you're alone in your room with the bottle. And then self-control says, when we entered the control room, there was no joy, no peace, no love, no hope. So now we're seeing the inside control room that they use the inside out, but instead of it being emotions, it's spirits. And the alcohol spirit is on the machine, controlling it. And Righteous said fear was working with alcohol to try and fill the void. So, and then self-control says fear's ultimate goal was for Chucky to choose death. And then it ends with dark melancholy. And then what loops is what I imagine for the loops. So you come out on the stage and you begin to perform. I was thinking the song "Free" or the song "Toe," just like reflective songs to really get them started.
Right.
And then I was thinking that because when they in the room, in the control room and Inside Out, there's a big screen that they're all looking at.
Right.
So I was thinking we're in the control room, but we're looking at that big screen. But you can see the little characters on the bottom working on the little control panel.
Oh.
And we see you in there alone. But there's a glowing spirit kind of flowing around you, meaning the spirit is beginning to work.
Right.
So you perform all the way through that, and then we block it. We black out again in the silence. Then righteousness says alcohol almost killed him. Bright white light, we see like an eye opening, like the black is kind of like the eyes are opening, and there's a sound of a rolling medical bed. So people are like, yo, what's about to happen now? You know what I'm saying? Because they just, you were watching the whole performance and we see you alone with the spirit flowing around, but now it's a bit abrupt because they hear this medical bed.
Right.
So the self-control says, Death thought he finally had him. And then the camera's back in the documentary room, and we hit him with the but God. Because people love that. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, this is when the shift occurs.
Right.
He says, but God sent us at the perfect time. And so, we see the two characters. Self-control says, tell him what I did. So then it's a flashback to the control room. And self-control is basically throwing these folks in the cage and shooting them off with a button. So self-control, the character, throws alcohol, throws them in the cage, and he shoots them off and just sends them out. And Righteous says, self-control threw alcohol in the cage and exiled him forever. As Righteous speaks, we see a flashback of self-control tossing alcohol in the cage and pressing a button that shoots him out the control room. Self-control says, when we got on the controls, it was like Chucky could see for the first time. So then the camera is back in the control room. And Righteous says, what's that term? And self-control says, the one God taught us? Righteous says, yeah. Self-control leans into the camera, like where the audience is, leans into the audience and says, he was born again. Then we cut to the loop, and you come out to born again.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
So then the loop is your character floating on a cloud.
Fire.
And then you play born again Christian, something like there's nothing God can't do, something like teach me in those areas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then the outro, you know what I'm saying, you step off the stage, and Righteous says, since then, a lot of people got fired. And it's like secular music, boom, he gets shot out. Gluttony, boom, he gets shot out. Lust, boom, gets shot out. And then self-control says, we try to kick out fear, but God said there will come a day when he handles her permanently. And we see fear like hiding in a dark corner. And then the camera's just following Righteous, the character, and Righteous says, day by day, Chucky grows, improves, falls, but gets back up, becoming more and more like Jesus. Self-control says he was lost, found, and now he walks. Righteous says, as a modern prophet. The show ends, epic music plays, people clap, and that's the experience.
I love it. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. I got to give it the standing ovation. I got to give it the standing ovation. That's fire. So, and then on the side with that too, like as I'm hearing this, I got to send you the music, the updated music, because we're starting to get some of those songs back with the live sound to them. It's definitely going to add a lot of dramatics to it. I love it. So if I'm hearing it correctly, we kind of come in with a dark room. The movie plays. I come up. Once you do the intro of the movie, then it's going to introduce like the first like one or two songs. And then I leave the stage, the movie plays again. Then that'll introduce like the next chunk of songs, however many, 3. And then boom, I leave the stage and the movie kind of closes out the show. Is that right?
Yeah. And the way it's set up is that you can put any songs in there, any amount of songs.
For sure.
And whatever, I try to create it for longevity, and it's based around your testimony for that purpose, because you will always be you.
For sure.
So no matter how much time passes by, your testimony will always be a good structure to fit your music into.
Right.
Listening to your music, it is so much based on your experiences and what God is teaching you and what you're fighting and whatnot.
For sure.
So I try to make it that you can put any song in between these spots. Got you.
Perfect.
Because your songs tend to be reflective of where you were and where God has you.
Right.
So
fire.
It probably wouldn't make sense to put something like Born Again Christian right after the first cutscene, like right after the intro.
Yeah.
Because that song is so triumphant.
Right.
It's better to bring it in after.
Yeah, a little later. Yeah. And I feel like that's the single. A lot of people going to be wanting to hear that one too, and like kind of give them that nice little setup, and then boom, hit them with that. I like how you had it placed, to be honest. Like I like how all of that was placed out. Yeah, that's fire. And then so all of this is going to be played. It's going to be pretty much the person who's controlling it, all they got to do is press play, really, right? And it's going to play the whole movie, and I'm going to be performing in between. Like, I'll get the timing down and everything, right? It's all going to be like set.
So there's two different ways you can do it. There's two different ways you can do it, right? So it depends. Do you plan on using a DJ, or do you plan on just having it all on one video? Because if you do it all on one video, so all you would do is you would take the first cutscene, and then you put the first loop, and you can put as many songs as you want on the first loop.
Right.
Then you have your second cutscene. Then you put as many songs you want on that, and then you just leave the outro.
Got you.
And then you go in the venue and you hand it to the person, and they're just gonna play the video.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying, you would probably just rehearse along with that video.
Right.
Now, if you're the DJ, you would just basically say, like, you would probably need to just tell the people in the back when to black out.
Got you.
Or you would need to have some sort of, like, you would need a way to communicate with the guy on the video and say, like, this is the end of scene one. You could turn the lights off here and play it. So it just, I can give you lighting cues, but if you're not doing it like the first version and you're using a DJ, you're going to need to communicate or some sort of coordination with the media team.
Right.
In order for them to know when to do what you need them to do.
Right, for sure. Okay, cool. It sounds like, it definitely sounds like option one is the smoothest way to do it. If for any reason we have to do version two, like, I'll have access to both of these versions, like, just, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's something.
I'll have everything for you separately. So you'll have intro, loop, intermission, loop, outro.
Dope.
So you'll have 5 different video files.
Okay.
And then I'll have, I can help you build an example set, example entire, let's say it's an hour, let's say it's 30 minutes, whatever it is, I can build you out an entire one. And then you'll also have those assets there to do whatever you want to do with them. Or
Dope.
If you want me to help you make a new set, that'll probably be a different, like, we wouldn't need to add any animation, but I would need to be compensated in the future for, like, the arrangement.
Yeah, for sure.
If you need me to help you arrange it again.
Yeah. Got you.
Like, I'll say, I need to do an hour, and I don't know how to do it myself. You could just send me all the songs, and I can arrange it for you, send it back to you, and then you just go in there and hand it to me.
My man, that's perfect. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so I guess this kind of takes me to the next part, because now what I'm hearing is, like, voiceover work. I'm sitting here in the studio right now, so I'm like, that's going to be exciting for me to, like, start putting the vocal, like, voices to it. So once you send me the files, I'll pretty much be able to watch them and, like, do voiceover. Is that what you're seeing too, or what you thinking?
So yeah, we're gonna need voiceover ASAP. So what I'm gonna do after you approve this, like, once this is approved by you, I'll go into the pre-visualization stage where I will make a really bare bones version of this, but that's timed perfectly.
Got you.
And I'll do like a mock voiceover myself.
Yeah.
And then I'll send that to you so that now you have a reference point and you can do all the voiceovers and everything is timed perfectly on your end.
Fire.
And then you'll send the voiceover back to me and I'll just layer it all. And
Fire.
make it make sense.
Fire.
Because the reasoning is the timing is going to be really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because we're trying to keep it under a certain, because we're trying to fit within that, just trying to stay within the 800 budget, so then we have to make sure everything is timed properly so that it doesn't go over. If
right.
you narrate it by yourself, it might end up being like 3 minutes and then we got to cut it down.
Right.
So I have this little process outlined.
No, that's perfect.
To you, right?
You sent me you sent me something you wrote out on IG. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but, like, I think it did have script in there too. I want to say I think it did have some, like, script stuff.
It does.
For sure.
See right here. Oh, here it is. I sent you the project outline. It's an image. I sent you that on December 17th.
You sent it to my email or?
It's actually your Instagram DMs.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if we're looking at the same thing. December 17th. Oh, 17th. Hold on, let me go back up.
I'll just be flying in.
Oh, okay. You talking about the, I see something that says like concept construction, pre-visualization, and then final.
What we're doing right now, and really what we're trying to finalize, if we could finalize it on this call, that'd be great, is the concept construction.
Got you. And that's basically what you just walked me through.
Yeah, basically everything we just did. That's just the entire concept, the theory of it all.
Right.
On paper.
Right.
Pre-visualization is I'm going to take that theory and I'm going to make it a visual skeleton.
Okay.
So we can actually look at it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to tell me, oh yeah, well, this is good.
Right.
It's in that area after I'm done with the blockout for the final step 3, we could get the narration finalized, we can get the sound design finalized, and then the visual will be all finalized. We combine it all together. For sure. And we got the final.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm definitely saying I'm approving that for sure. Okay. Now there's one thing that's sticking out to me. You let me know if this is too much, but like I did a show a long time ago, and it was like a stage play, and in the middle of the show, I had a dude dressed like the devil walks out on stage, and he's just like, what are you doing? You know, and everybody's looking, you know, he's got the makeup on, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just telling people how good God is. And he's pretty much like, no, you can't be doing that. Like, I think when I'm seeing these spirits, and I'm wondering, is there something that kind of talks about how there is this enemy that this modern prophet character is ultimately fighting against. And I see the alcohol, I see the lust, the gluttony, like all that stuff is beautiful. And I think it's also like, this is a twofold question too. Is like when we start looking at the characters, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Inside Out, the anger, he's like this little short dude. He's got on this like little work suit and he's fire, you know? But I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like when I look at alcohol, like how do you portray him? Like, is he like a little cartoon bottle or?
It's a cartoon. So we had last time we had chosen like a really simple route. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking to keep it really minimal. My thought process just in terms of like return on investment and whatnot, I was thinking we just have a simple bottle, like it's recognizably an alcohol bottle. Right. With arms. Got you. Yeah. And I was probably not even going to do legs on it.
Yeah. Perfect.
So he's floating there, like you can use all the machines, but we don't have to worry about him being like rooted in the ground.
For sure.
He still gets the message across.
Yeah, I like that better. Okay. I like that better.
That's all. You're saying now, so in the script, for example, in the intro, self-control, which is the character, says fear's ultimate goal was for Chucky to choose death. So it's almost as if fear is the enemy. Yeah, I like that. And fear is actually, I was thinking, a dark creature. Yeah. And there's a moment, but tell me if you agree with this. There's a moment in the outro after all of these evil characters are getting sent out, and self-control says towards the end, we tried to kick out fear, but God said there will come a day where he handles her permanently. Okay. And then we see fear hiding in a dark corner. The reason I left that there is because it kind of leaves an opening for future stage visuals. Yeah, for sure. It leaves kind of like the battle isn't completely won. Like this, we're still fighting.
I like that.
But I mean, you tell me. You know, it's ultimately your story. This is just, I just took the reins and try to get a nice blueprint for you. Yeah. Laid out, but you know what? You know, if you want fear to be Satan, that's possible. I think fear is cool just like that. I'm wondering, and you tell me what you think. I'm wondering if fear does get locked away, right? Fear gets destroyed, but the piece that leaves the cliffhanger is now we just need to get Chucky to believe that fear has already been beaten. Fear only still is living in the remnants of what used to be. And that's how fear is trying to attack Chucky, by the memory
of fear. But the reality is fear has been destroyed. It is locked away. It's gone. It's dead. But
so maybe fear gets casted out, but a ghost of fear is still there. And then self-control could say, fear is already gone. It's just the memory of fear that lives here.
Yeah. Yeah. So now that's the part we're working on. That's the part. Like, can you go, like, when people leave this show, they need to know that their fears are dead. They just need to, the gates are open. Jesus died. They are born again. It's been done. It's finished. God is waiting on us. The work has already been done. We just need to step into it and receive it.
Yeah.
You know, especially with like anxiety, a lot of people are still operating in that fear. But the truth of the matter is the gate is open. They are free to go. But they're too afraid because they're so used to being in that bondage. And it kind of reminds me of like slavery days. Like when the slaves were in bondage for so long, when they finally emancipated these slaves, they opened the gates and was like, all right, y'all free to go. Majority of those slaves turned around and went back to captivity because they didn't even know how to operate outside of the gates. I mean, you know what I mean? And so I think a lot of people deal with that when it comes to fear, myself included. But that's something that God keeps reminding me. It's like the thing that I'm afraid of, it's not even real. It's that thing is dead. You know what I mean? And so my biggest thing is learning how to believe it and know it to be true so that I can live my life according so that I can live my life fearless. But then at the same time, too, it's like, you know, certain fears are natural in a sense, you know, and certain fears kind of work to your advantage. You know, it talks about like these, and I think this might be getting too deep, but like animals, right? When a rabbit sees like a predator, you know, there's a fear and anxiety that happens inside of that rabbit, not to kill that rabbit, but it's really a defense mechanism. Its eyes get bigger. It's able to run faster. So all of these things are happening so that it can survive. The problem with this type of fear, with like anxiety, is oftentimes we think we see a tiger or a lion that's about to attack us, and it's not real. So a lot of people are running from an imaginary predator.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. And so their bodies are behaving as though there's danger when really there's not. And so it's like learning how to really understand that you're not in danger, you're okay. And I think that's where Christ comes in. And again, this might be getting too deep, but I think just kind of dialing it back, maybe we could play with that a little bit with the end, in a very simple, artistic way that, very simple, like, you know, fear has been cast out, but like, how do we say that in a way that like, now we just need Chucky to like know this like forever. And not even, it might not even be Chucky. It might be speaking to the crowd, you know? I don't know, you know, but I think there's a simple nugget poetic way to say that in a sound bite to where it's like, oh shoot, you know what I mean? So that when people leave, they can leave with the understanding that they too can overcome their fears. That the fears are already overcome. That they just need to start behaving like the fear is already gone.
That's good. That's good. Okay, no, that's great. All right, so this is what I have here.
Okay.
This gets thrown out. Fear gets thrown out.
All right.
What I'm thinking is the camera pivots over to self-control the character.
Okay.
And he says something. After he says what he said,